Hey, welcome to my very last ever diary series. This is it, this is the last one. But first, I wanted to mention the intro to my first ever video, which was the interview with Walter. In today's episode, I talked to a chap called Walter Ryan. We met on Medium, which is a blogging website for... it was terrible. Yeah, it was absolutely dreadful. It's something, if you're running a YouTube channel, you'll become familiar with because you get very self-critical, which is quite a good thing, I suppose, sometimes. But yeah, it was so staid and kind of, hello, welcome to my channel. Again, that's why I'm doing these diary videos, even though this is the last one. That doesn't make sense. But that's all part of the process. It's part of the learning process. So yeah, if you watched that and thought, wow, this is like a 1980s training video, then you had a point. They will get better. They will get more natural, trust me. The reason I'm stuck in the diaries is really straightforward. I just need to get cracking with the real content. I don't need to do these anymore. The whole point was just to get used to editing, get the branding right, get the thumbnail stuff sorted, and really get in the process of creating videos. And if I'm honest, it's worked brilliantly. I've done a video every week for the last 7 or 8 weeks, I think. So I've proved to myself that I can do it. So for example, now it's the end of the day. I'm filming this at 5:20. It's been a really long day in terms of work. I was just about to go and walk the dog, and suddenly I thought, well, hang on a minute, I've got 15 minutes. I can film a episode in that time. So I wouldn't have done that normally in the past. So it's really got me into that filming mindset, which is cool. Biggest takeaway from doing this diary series is that it just pays just to get things done. I've been listening to, as you probably know, if you've been listening to my previous episodes, watching my previous episodes, you'll know that I've been doing shed loads of research, and all of the creators that have become successful on YouTube say the same thing, which is that to get started, you just actually need to get started. Get rid of any preconceptions you've got about how ready you need to be to film. You know, if you're not comfortable doing it, who cares? Go for it, start filming. And this diary series has taught me that if I do that, actually, I get content done, which sounds obvious, but it's, I think a lot of us get stuck in these cycles of trying to create things and having big ideas and planning them forever and never really getting anywhere. So I'm going to live by my own kind of belief now, which is that I just need to crack on with it. So the diary series, I might do future diaries, possibly, I don't know, but they're not really the core content. The core content needs to be helpful. I want to help freelancers, independent workers, people who have just suddenly found themselves working from home be more productive and happier, and like me, actually enjoy Monday mornings most of the time. And what's been interesting actually, and this wasn't by design, but if we look back at my videos, they, as in the diary videos, they've actually sort of moulded into tips and the kind of thing really that I'll be doing for real as the channel starts to get into gear. So for example, I talked about content creation, getting review units more recently, the best YouTube or the worst YouTube gear you can use, how I've made money on the Medium blogging platform, books you should read on YouTube. So it's actually turned into less of a diary series and more of a tips series, which is kind of the whole point of me being on this. So it is just time to get started. So if you have been watching this, I've racked up a few minutes of watch time, which is great. Subscriber numbers are still rather low, but I'm not worried about that at all. You know, I want to just get the content going. In terms of what you can expect from this channel going forward, I really am going to focus initially on productivity tips. You know, I've spent 5, 6, 7 years, whatever it is, working for myself and being pretty productive. You know, today I've worked 8 hours solidly, which to most people sounds like a normal day, and it is a normal day, but anyone who is in freelancing or works on their own from home will know that an hour in that environment is very different to an hour in the office. So an hour at home is a full hour of work, unless you're distracted by the dog or the Amazon delivery man or the fridge or whatever. It's a solid hour of work, whereas in a traditional office, an hour might be 40 minutes of work, 10 minutes of being disturbed by a colleague who won't leave you alone, and some other minutes doing other things which aren't productivity related because you get distracted. So 8 hours of solid work is 8 hours of paid, solid, profitable work. And like I say, I've spent probably half a decade really refining my process for doing that and for getting a lot of stuff done in one day. I'd like to help you do that, and I think as a result of kind of working on these routines, I've become happier. There's two things actually. I've made more money than I've ever made, and I've become happier. And I think that's vital. Don't get me wrong, there are days which are very stressful and days where I can't be bothered, like everyone. I have those days where I just look at my to-do list and think, oh God, I've got to get started. But I have ways around that as well. I have methods I use to get rid of those instances. I'll be teaching all that stuff. And as I mentioned in my last video, which I'll link to up here, I also will be reviewing stuff. That will be a bit of a slower process doing it. Doing that kind of content. I want to focus more on the kind of advice and that kind of stuff to begin with. I'll also be doing some more interviews. One of them in particular will be a running series, which will be with a chap called Mark Ferguson. Mark, I think you're subscribing already. If you're not, you better be. And Mark is a very good friend. He's also a guy that I've worked with for many years. He's also an independent worker. He runs a PR firm called Morefire PR. Check them out, just Google them, you'll find them. I'll put them in the description. Yeah, we're going to do a monthly video together where we talk about the way that we both work, because he, like me, he works at home in his own little office and is very productive. So yeah, that's going to be an ongoing series. I've also had quite a bit of interest from people on Medium who want to be on the channel as well, following the interview with Walter, which is great. I love the idea of making this a collaborative affair with other freelancers. So if you're watching this and you'd like to be on the channel, let me know, go for it. But that really is it. This is the last diary episode. I'm going to continue working on this room. It won't be echoey anymore, Lee. I know this is how small my channel is. I keep addressing people directly by name. But no, it won't be echoey anymore gradually. And there'll be stuff in the background. There'll be lighting and all sorts of funky things going on. So if you've been watching these diary videos, I really appreciate it. You're already my biggest fans, and that's great, even though most of you I know. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button and check out my playlist if you missed out on the previous diary episodes. There might be something in there that you find of interest. And until next time, cheers. Bye-bye.